Why weren't we taught to listen? Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, that could have gone better? Maybe you were trying to explain something important but got interrupted. Maybe you listened patiently only to realize they weren't hearing you at all. Or maybe you just couldn't get through to someone no matter how hard you tried. This is common for the majority of us at times, and the problem probably wasn't you. Most of us weren't actually taught how to listen. We were told to listen, expected to listen, even punished if we didn't. Being told to do something isn't the same as learning how. If you're American, you likely grew up in a culture where listening was framed as obedience. Because I said so. Don't interrupt. Go to your room if you can't listen. Listening was enforced, but never explained. And now, as adults, we're left navigating relationships, raising kids, running businesses, and managing teams without one of the most foundational skills we need. That's a problem worth talking about. Listening isn't passive. It's a trainable skill. We tend to think of listening as a natural ability. Either you do it or you don't. You either get it or you're the kind of person who just talks too much. But that's not how it works. Listening is not passive. It's active, intentional, and learnable. In fact, there's a systematic way to listen that can shift the outcome of almost any conversation for the better. But very few of us were ever shown how. Think about it. We go to school for years to learn math, science, writing, and history, but how much time was spent teaching you how to listen in a way that made others feel safe, respected, and understood? Probably none. And yet, this one skill affects our relationships, workplaces, families, and communities every single day. What we were taught wasn't really listening. Maybe you're thinking, I was taught to listen. My parents made sure of it. But were you taught how to listen, or were you just told that you had to? There really is a difference. Getting in trouble for not listening, that's about control. Getting hit or shamed for interrupting, that's about power. Neither of those teaches you how to sit with someone's emotions, reflect what you hear, or stay present without rushing to fix or defend. Real listening is not about being silent. It's about connection. It's about being able to hear someone fully and still hold on to your sense of self. That takes emotional skill, and most of us had to figure it out the hard way, if at all. Why it matters more than ever. We're living in a world where everyone is talking, and few people feel truly heard. Our attention spans are shrinking, our stress levels are rising, and whether we're online or face-to-face, we're constantly bombarded with noise. The result? Misunderstandings, conflicts, broken relationships, divides that feel impossible to bridge. We see it in families, in politics, in schools, at work, across generations. We know something's off, but we keep patching the symptoms instead of addressing the root. We were never taught to listen well. And yet, the ability to listen, to truly hear someone and respond with clarity, not reactivity, is one of the most powerful tools we have. It's also one of the most teachable. What happens when listening is taught? Let's zoom out for a moment. In Denmark, students start learning empathy and listening skills from a young age. They spend time practicing how to name their feelings, hold space for someone else's emotions, and solve problems without blame or shame. These aren't side lessons. They're part of the core curriculum. And the results? Denmark consistently ranks among the happiest countries in the world. It has one of the lowest youth crime rates in Europe. Divorce rates are lower. Trust in institutions is higher. Children report feeling safer and more supported at school. Of course, listening isn't the only reason, but it's a significant one. When people employ active listening, dynamics shift, families grow stronger, communities become more resilient, conflict doesn't disappear, but it's handled with more grace and some laughter. Now imagine what that could mean in your life. What could change if you were taught to listen? If you're feeling frustrated, misunderstood, or emotionally drained in your daily life, listening might not seem like the obvious solution. But think about it. What would change in your marriage if your partner felt truly heard? What would shift in your work if you could de-escalate tension instead of absorbing it? What would be different in your friendships if conversations felt more mutual, less performative? What kind of parent, manager, friend, or human could you be if you had the tools to hear others without losing yourself in the process? It's startling to think about, isn't it? That is what listening offers, and it's not too late to learn. You can learn to listen, really. You don't have to move to Denmark or rewrite your past. You just need a new starting point. At Hold, we teach listening as a skill, not as a virtue you're supposed to have mastered already. We show people how to stay calm, emotionally centered and connected, even when conversations get tough. This isn't therapy, it's not advice, it's guided practice in something no one ever taught you, but that you use every day. And the results? People report feeling lighter, more grounded, more effective in their personal and professional lives. Not because life got easier, but because they got better at listening to themselves and others in a way that builds clarity instead of chaos. Want to try it? Start with one of our free resources like Runaway Freight Train, a 7-minute video, plus a reflection guide to help you stay focused and emotionally present in everyday conversations. Or if you're ready to go deeper, have a look at Listen Your Way to Deeper Connections. You'll be amazed at how a few hours of focus and some intentional practice will impact your life. Because when we listen, it's more likely that we're listened to, and then things really ease. That's the kind of world we all deserve. A loving, peaceful one.